Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to another Palaview Market Research video. Today, we are going to be breaking down a crypto market opportunity that has surprised me greatly over the past 6 years. It is a sector that I didn't see coming and has experienced a level of adoption that is simply undeniable. But in order for us to break down this niche crypto play most effectively, we are going to tell the story of a wizardly wizard man who spends much of his time in other dimensions far away from mortals like you and I. His story begins in late 2018 with a little project called Helium. I'm certain most of you have heard of this project. You and your friends have probably speculated on the idea of how cool it would have been to set these things up in your apartment and other people's apartments across a city like New York. Well, while you and your friends were dreaming of doing such a thing, this man was doing exactly that. So without further ado, meet Jack Purdy of Masari. Pictured here, Jack totally and completely is showing off here at the Grammys, partying and mogging everyone in Puerto Rico with his Helium internet monies. Today, Jack is now the Director of Sales and Protocol Services at Masari. He has a Substack called A Life Examined, and he recently launched a podcast that makes Blockworks feel like a complete waste of time. So take a screenshot of this now if you're watching on your phone so you can be sure to check all this out. But recently, when I was sitting with Jack at his 4,000 square foot home in Puerto Rico, he was telling me about how he is now doubling and tripling down into this niche that Helium sits in. So what is that niche? Well, in order to understand that, we need to first understand the current state of Helium, as they now support wireless carriers like Verizon and T-Mobile with data offloading. On top of that, they are now able to offer a highly competitive mobile plan that you could actually sign up for right now. So how did Helium pull this off? Well, Jack broke this down to me very clearly. Helium, by offering a token coupled with a hardware product, was able to encourage its early adopters to invest in the hardware themselves, offloading and distributing that initial capital investment across the Helium community, not just its founders. This effectively bootstrapped the supply side of what ultimately turned into a real-world infrastructure network. These early token adopters were willing to buy these semi-expensive routers and put them into their homes because the Helium protocol sufficiently rewarded them in the form of these tokens, which of course had crazy upside potential. And if we take it a step further, these tokens in this specific niche serve as a totally new type of asset, a sort of digital oil or commodity, as it is actually backed by real-world infrastructure that provides real-world services to real people. But before blockchains and token-backed business models, this method for building out telecommunications networks in a decentralized manner was not possible. Up until very recently, to do this, it required large centralized entities to raise huge amounts of money, huge amounts of capital up front to fight for expensive entitlements across many different counties and states to build out these large-scale telecommunications towers. Hence why telecommunications businesses like AT&T have been accused of monopolistic practices for decades. You may not be aware, but in 1982, AT&T was accused of maintaining a monopoly over telephone services in the United States. This led to a famous case where the Department of Justice actually forced AT&T to divest itself of many local telephone operations it had operated under its whole umbrella because it's a big conglomerate. So, since Helium proved this model that using sophisticated game theory through tokens to build real-world infrastructure networks, what other decentralized infrastructure networks are being built in crypto right now that we should all be tracking? So let's walk through a couple examples really quickly. GeoNet, you research it yourself. Dymo, you research it yourself. Fuse, you research it yourself. Dawn, you research it yourself. And Entheos. Do you see these two guys at the top here? This is TJ. He's a aesthetic nationalist like myself. And this is Christian. Christian is, as you can see, a very, very attractive man. I like him a lot. He's one of the first, one of the first lawyers ever hired by a decentralized autonomous organization. He's done legit legal work for MakerDAO in the past, and they are leading this project at Entheos. Shout out to both of them. That is today's video. That is the crypto play I am uncovering for all of you today. Decentralized physical infrastructure networks. Who would have seen it coming? that they would be that this sector is outperforming real world assets. Kind of insane that a hardware related sector of crypto is performing as well as it has. Have a great day, gentlemen. We'll pick this up again tomorrow. Peace and victory.